Well, hello, everyone. My name is Angela Hooper Minifield, and this is your HR moment with Minifield and Associates. I am really excited to be with you today. I normally do not do Thursdays. So, yes, this is a little bit out of my norm, but I am making up for missing on yesterday. So, I'm just getting my watch party going. I have too many things going at one time. So, a lot of great things happening today. We had episode 2 of our radio show. So, thank you guys who support and listen. And again, you may be wondering, well, how do I find the radio show? So, I'm going to put the link in the comments, but it's IBGR for International Business Growth Results Network. So it's .network. So that's the URL for the radio show. And so you can catch us there. We're there on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I decided to bring over today's discussion into my HR moment because we were talking about, having autonomy. In order to do our jobs and do them right the first time. And so I thought, you know what? Maybe we should talk about it over here because autonomy is one of those things that employees talk about all the time. And that's one of the things I mentioned on the radio show today, right? Like employees want more autonomy to do their job. And then on the flip side, I often hear supervisors complaining about the fact that their employees won't operate in autonomy. And so I thought, you know what? This is a great topic to talk about. So I would love to hear from you guys. For those of you who, work for other businesses, do you often feel you have enough autonomy? And for those of us who have businesses, or like we're the supervisor, we're the leader, we're the manager, we're the owner, are we giving our employees enough autonomy to do their jobs? So that's today's question. And so that's what I'd like to talk about today, because there are benefits to giving people autonomy. And today on the radio show, and again, I'm encouraging you to go to the radio show at www.ibgr.network and listen there. But let's talk about some of the reasons why, we don't do it. I acknowledge for me that the times that I have failed to give autonomy is because I just really didn't trust that the person was going to do whatever the assignment was, either to my level of expertise or my level of satisfaction. And when you're a business owner, this is what we know. The buck stops with you, right? And so we have to always think about the repercussions. And so it's like you want to let go, but then you cling on tight because you're afraid. You're afraid of what might go wrong when you're not there. And so on today's radio show, we really took a deeper dive into what are some of the ways that we can operate and begin to give people more autonomy. And so for those of you who are watching, I'd love to hear some of the things you're thinking, like how do you give people more autonomy? When you have employees or direct reports, people on your team, maybe you've even contracted work out. Like I have been the contractor on a project and not felt as if I had the true autonomy to do what I was hired to do. And so how do we do that? Like, what are some steps? What are some things that have helped you grow? So I always like to hear what you think. Feel free to comment if you have thoughts. And if you've worked for someone who didn't give you autonomy, what did that feel like? Like, what was it like to work for somebody who wouldn't give you autonomy? So I can tell you firsthand, I have worked for micromanagers. I have worked for people who refused to give me the autonomy to do the things that I felt I needed to do. And it was frustrating. I didn't like working for them. I was looking for my out. And so if you're not aware of this, then I want to make you aware that for those of us who struggle in that space, The people who work for us are looking for their out. This past week on the Black Entrepreneurs Institute show, BEI show, Tuesday nights, Empowered Living Network, and I also always shared on my page, Dr. Nicole Rankin spoke about how this generation, right, millennials and younger, so Gen Z and those following, how they're different in the workplace. And one of the things that really resonated with me from her presentation, and again, you can go catch the replay, and it replays Sunday at 3 p.m., is that they want more say, right? And this is a part of autonomy, because autonomy means that you got free will and the ability to operate in totality in your oneness, right? So people are not micromanaging you. The other thing that autonomy speaks to is when we, as the supervisors or managers, make decisions about others people's work, we won't do so without consulting them or their consent. Now, this is a stickler for a lot of us in management, because we take the position that I'm the boss, right? I'm in charge. You do what I tell you to do. But that's not a way to lead people. And if we want our employees to have autonomy, we have to give them some say and consent in the things that pertain to them that will affect them. So that's why people, encourage team meetings. You want to get buy-in and do things in a collaborative way. And so as a result of that, again, autonomy is really important. So some of the things we talked about on the radio show today was, what are some of the benefits to autonomy? And I won't go into all of them, but I can tell you this, that when we give our employees more autonomy, they feel motivated, they produce more, they have improved work-life balance, and they feel valued. Who doesn't want to feel valued? Right? We all do. So if we know that our people will feel more valued if they had autonomy, the next question becomes, well, why don't we give it to them? Well, one of the things I talked about today on the radio show, and the name of the radio show is The People Side of Business. And today we're in episode 5, and I'm in the track of people and for growing businesses and entrepreneurs. But we talked about the fact that there are some core reasons why we don't do it. And one of them, again, for me, is the fact that I am aware that the buck stops with me. So people see anything that an employee does in my business as a reflection of me. And so that can preclude me from sometimes giving my employees that level of autonomy. And there were some other reasons that I went into. And again, go check out the show at ibgr.network to hear the other things. But then we talked about some things that we could do to improve it. And I talked about the 3 E's. And it was educate your employees, equip your employees, and then empower them. And when you do these 3 things, you will feel more comfortable, as will they, with autonomy. You see, I see autonomy as a two-way street, right? So autonomy is not just what the supervisor or business manager does, right? It's not just whether or not they allow people to operate in the autonomy, it's whether or not the employee will own it. And some of our employees are, I hate to use the word shell shock, but that's the best word that comes to mind, right? Like they've been burned. They've had situations where they tried to operate in autonomy and they got in trouble. They made an honest mistake and they've never been able to live it down. And so we have to be cognizant of what other baggage people bring into the workplace, but also make sure that we're not being that leader, that manager, that boss, that supervisor, that business owner that berates or puts people down when they make honest mistakes. And then the last thing we talked about in our 4th segment today on the show was, how can we encourage that? How can we encourage autonomy? So I gave everybody 5 steps. And again, I won't go into them again here. I just want to leave you with a nugget, but I really encourage you to go listen to the radio show. It's about an hour and it's at ibgr.network. But we talked about building a culture of trust, right? Because you can't operate in autonomy if people don't trust you, because you're afraid of making a mistake, and you won't give autonomy for people to do their jobs if you don't trust them. We talked about learning from mistakes, right? Communicating regularly. That one is a big one. Also, hiring the right people. That's so key. And so we have to make sure we're hiring the right people on our teams, because if we don't feel good about their abilities, we won't give them the autonomy they need. And of course, you guys know I love to talk about hiring, recruitment, interviews. These are the tools that we have in place to ensure we get the right person. And then last but not least, I said, after you've done those things, get out of the way. Like, let the people do what you hired them to do. There's a quote that says something like, a good leader hires the right people and then leaves them alone to do their job. So again, being able to operate in autonomy is really important, and it creates happier employees, more engaged employees, and it increases your profits. So that's been my highlight, or my HR moment for today, August the 13th, 2020. But in order to get the full scope of everything we discussed, again, go to ibgr.network and listen to today's radio show titled Having Autonomy to Do the Job Right the First Time. And again, the name of my show is The People Side of Business. So thank you for watching, whether you're watching live or my business page. And I want to encourage you to like my business page. I'm going to encourage you to also watch the BEI show, the Black Entrepreneurs Institute. We are doing some great things. And this Tuesday, I'm giving you a little sneak peek. For my friends and people who've ever been to Houston and been to the Breakfast Club with a K, we will have the owner, Marcus, what's Marcus' last name? My brain just went dead. But he will be on our show Tuesday night. And let me just tell you, gold, gold, gold. I was so impressed, so impressed. And he just helped me as an entrepreneur. And if he's helping me, I can tell you guys, he will help you. Hey, Damien. But make sure you watch our show. Now, the replay from last week's show, which was about millennials in the workplace, that'll play on Sunday at 3. But Tuesday night, 7:30, set your alarm. Put a reminder. I text a lot of my friends and my families, but guess what? I'm not trying to be a nag. Support me, support the business, support the show. We all know that we say we want more of people of color, people my age, people that look like me. I want to see them represented where we're out here trying to do this. So support us if we bring value. If there's no value, don't watch us. Don't watch us just because. But I know we're bringing value. So Tuesday night, 7:30, do not forget, you are going to want to be there. What is his last name? I can't leave without telling you. Give me 1 second. I'm going to figure it out. What is it? Da, 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 da. Of course, I don't see it here. Oh, Marcus Davis. That's it. So the Breakfast Club is the name of the restaurant. And he has 4 in Houston. I understand, as my Texans like to tell me, in the country of Texas, the city of Houston, or the state of Houston. But anyway, great things are coming down the pipe. So People Side of Business, Thursdays, 3 p.m. BEI show, Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. And then on Wednesday, 2 weeks from Wednesday, so August 26th, my friend Damian Johnson and I will be conducting a fundamentals of sales training or course. You can register at mysalesimpactreport.com. And I'll put that comment in the links as well. But if you're in business, Damien has taught me, Cedric has taught me, then you're in sales. And so in order to get better at it, you have to learn. And so join us. And Damien and I will probably be doing some Facebook Lives in a couple of days. So get ready for those as well. Anthony, I see your comments. You said interesting. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And also my Speakers Club, Monday nights, your speakers.club. I have a lot of stuff going on, don't I? But anyway, join us. We appreciate you. I just wanted to get this HR moment in really quickly. before tonight's boot camp class with our boot campers. We're in week 2 of our business boot camp. So if you haven't joined yet and you really need some help to grow your business, make sure you look out for our next enrollments starting at the beginning of the year. But don't let 2021 find you ill prepared to take your business to the next level. And as supervisors, don't you let it find you ill equipped to lead your team. Take care, everybody. It's been my pleasure, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.